Welcome back. You're watching Lagos Governorship Debate. It's coming to you live from the Muzon Center in Lagos, and it's being organized by Channels Television. We've got 5 candidates here with us. I would like to remind our viewers that you can also send your questions and comments to us. You see the addresses pop up on your screen soon rather than later. Well, this next segment, you'll have to limit your responses, gentlemen, to 1 minute. This is the point where you can get rebuttals. If a candidate makes a statement and you feel it's got to be corrected, or you have to respond to it at my discretion, or my call rather, you will do so. Let's get back to some of the questions now. Dr. Dominic, could you tell us what you will do about unemployment in the state? Do you have statistics of it, and what would you do to improve the loss of a whole lot of young people who do not have jobs?
Yes, unemployment is one of the major problems. In fact, the major problem of Lagos State. And Lagos State is an industrial economy. It is also a commercial one. We need to get people into jobs. We need to get the industries working. If we get the industries working, people will get jobs. And the bane of the industries now is lack of power. There's no electricity. How can industries perform? How can they produce when there's no electricity? And the government, the ACN government, I remember some time ago, attempted to bring in independent power supplies, which would have complemented the national grid, which was okay. Somehow it disappeared. We heard it was corruption. We don't know from what side. So we must first of all ensure that electricity generation comes in 24 hours uninterrupted.
It's time up. Thank you. Ms. Pasha, you want to rebut that?
Yes, I just want to quickly say the power hasn't disappeared. The IPP is still generating 270 megawatts appropriated by the federal government, and deductions are still being made from Lagos State's money illegally in spite of court orders. But beyond that, we have also delivered a 12.5 megawatt IPP for Ijuana and Water Works. And as I speak this evening, there's a 10 megawatt Lagos Island power project just around the corner here that will power the High Court, the Magistrate Court, General Hospital, Island Maternity, and the State House, and 20 streets on Lagos Island. And we are already working on Maturi, we are working on Alausa, we're working on Shomolu as well, and we have also conducted an audit for Broad Street and Marina that requires 100 megawatt of power. And the only mitigation now is gas. But we have designed the 10 megawatt IPP here to be scalable up to 104 megawatt to meet the demands of the Central Business District. We are already also producing transformers in Lagos. By the end of April, we'll start manufacturing meters.
Thank you. Well, the next question is yours again. In 2007, while campaigning, you said, quote, "I'll open a register in all the local governments in the state where unemployed youths will register and get jobs." What have you done to execute this?
We have done that. It is now on the global, the state's website. We didn't open a register again. We use the better means of communication with young people now, which is the internet, and there's a state website opportunity for young unemployed people to register, and we are already also putting them to jobs. We used it to provide jobs for those who are working on the Youth Employment Scheme now, where 1,000 of them are there. We've used it to train about 251,000 people in vocational skills and development over the last 4 years. We're using it also to engage them in the Lagos Residents Registration Scheme, and therefore we are using it to engage. We used it also to provide taxes for Lagosians. It was through that network that we negotiated the transactions for over 5,000 taxi drivers who are proud owners of their taxis. They repaid their loans. They're now full owners of it. So we use it as a regular medium of communication, and we continue also to shortlist candidates for jobs and job opportunities within the state. In the last 4 years, we have employed 16,000 people into the public service.
Dr. Dosumu, what will you do about unemployment?
Thank you very much. The issue of unemployment is closely related to the problem of the economy of Lagos. And what is responsible for it is because the industries are relocating out of Lagos, mostly for 2 reasons. First, electricity, which is power. Second, multiple taxation. this was contained in the report of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Over 100 and something companies have relocated out of Lagos. Why would there not be unemployment? So what we would do is to create an enabling environment for industries and companies to thrive by having a protectionist policy that will make companies operate at their optimum. We also ensure that companies that are coming in enjoy what we call pioneer status. Nigeria LNG has been in Nigeria for over 25 years. They have not paid one kobo tax. They are enjoying pioneer status. We will also enjoy, because what government loses by way of taxation, you gain it when you create employment for the youth. Because they indirectly also pay to the government their taxes.
Yes.
What would you do about unemployment?
Well, like I said earlier on, I am a divine agent of change. I pledge to turn Lagos State into a construction yard. I pledge to turn Lagos State into a construction yard because it will create a lot of jobs for the so-called area boys and those who are involved in armed robbery. But the facts are glaring in the newspapers, on the radio, on the television. The roads are bad. And as a result, Lagosians suffer every day. Traffic jams. The roads don't have drainages. Lagos, I've been to over 50 countries in the world. Lagos is the only state I will see that will be building roads without drainages. Or let me put it in another way. Lagos State is fond of building roads without drainages. It's a general problem in Nigeria.
Thank you. I guess that may pass as a rebuttal of sorts. Thank you, Chief Doctor. Mr. Randall, unemployment.
The first thing to understand about employment is that you have to encourage not just the person who's going to create the jobs, you also need to train the beneficiaries of the job creation scheme. And the reason I say that is that there's a flaw in our educational system. The graduates we are producing have this psychological hang-up that should be just waiting for them. But other countries have tackled that problem differently. They are training their graduates to be potential job creators, or those who on their own would rather set up businesses than go around looking for, writing letters of application. And that is our number one problem. And number two, even those who are in employment do not appear to enjoy being employed.
Thank you. Well, the next question will come from Mr. Frank Henry.
I'd like the candidates, each one of them, to outline for us what the idea of the deficit in housing stock in Lagos is and how they intend to resolve that deficit by offering us information about how the program will be funded.
Chief Doctor, could you start first?
Yes, an AMPP administration in Lagos State will launch what we will call a Housing for the People program. Because housing is one of the biggest problems facing Lagosians. And I stand to be challenged. We still have land, particularly on the outskirts of Lagos, like in my area, Ekpe local government, Ikorodu area, on the way to Ota. And our strategy will be to use locally made building materials. We can have 2-3 bedroom houses for the masses. I'm not talking of an elitist housing program, which the Fashola administration is currently pursuing. You build houses and you ask people to bring 50 million naira. Where would they get it? Majority of the people in Lagos are poor. So an AMPP administration will ensure a Housing for the People program. And we will use largely locally made building materials. Yes, instead of cement.
Thank you. Time up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Bachelor. May I assume that you do not want to rebut that?
No, I will.
Go ahead. 1 minute.
I think the seriousness of the housing problem is not fully appreciated by my opponent. The problem is not how to build the houses. The problem is how to ensure that those we build those houses for actually get there, so that those who already own homes don't buy them and make them tenants in the home. That is the problem we are solving. As I speak, we have built 5,000 houses across Lagos, but we have not sold because we are finalizing the mortgage policy that I promised Lagosians to make housing affordable, so that they will pay not more than 30% of the cost of the houses, and every month contribute not more than 25% of their monthly income. We have already concluded arrangements with banks. We will flag up the implementation of the project by the end of March. This is a serious business that we are concerned about. The multiplier effect to our economy, the jobs it has created and it will create. Also engaging with private sector to adopt this model as a sustainable model. We cannot build homes if it is difficult to get cement into our country, if the federal government mismanages our ports and make the cost of building materials really expensive. But we found a solution.
Thank you. Dr. Nisoni.
Thank you very much. I believe that government does not have business in housing, except it is a social intervention. But what we've seen in the last 12 years is you see houses that are being sold at exorbitant prices. Presently, I give you an example. Off Liverpool Road, LSDPC is building a block of flats. A flat is 51 million. On Danfodio Street, in Bagada, LSDPC is building. A flat is over 40 million. Who are those houses for? Anybody who has 50 million or 40 million does not need government to build houses for him. He can go and buy his land and build his house. The last social housing program we had in this state was by Alhaji Lateef Jakonde, when he built 5,475 flats within 4 years. And he sold it backed it with mortgage policy. 30% down payment, you get your letter of allocation, you enter the house and you pay monthly. If we have that type of program, I can tell you most Lagosians will own houses today.
When it comes to housing, experience is the best teacher. In 1952, the British government gave Lagos £1 million to move to clear up the slums of Lagos. It was a gigantic task, but it was accomplished because the government had the will. What you now know as Surulere was actually meant to be New Lagos. It was Zik, an Igbo man, who coined the phrase Surulere because he wanted to persuade Lagosians to move to New Lagos. They didn't want to move, but that is clear evidence of what can be done if the will is there. 40 years afterwards, I was a beneficiary of that scheme because the first house I ever bought was at Surulere.
Thank you, Mr. Rando. Dr. Dominic.
Yes. Just as I said earlier, Lagos State is one huge slum. BBC reported recently that there are 42 slums in Lagos State. There are 20 local governments, 42 slums. That means that maybe outside Ikoyi and Victoria and every other place is a slum. And just as Chief Randall said, I remember the LEDB, which is now succeeded by the LSDPC, mobilize people, move people from one of the slums in Lagos to Alhaji Masha area. There's no reason why the state government should not take this seriously and start rebuilding these slums for the people who are there. If you build the houses for them, move them into these houses, and they will pay just what they are able to pay. That's what Alhaji Jakonde did. And if you do that, you will replace these slums. If the will is there, there's a way. Right now, there's no sewage, no proper sewage disposal in those houses you see in Mushinyajekun all over the place. No water, no electricity, nothing. These people are living like animals all over Lagos.
Thank you.